Hello everyone and welcome back to episode 309 of your favourite Formula 1 show. Yes, after a small hiatus, which we apologise for, Knowing Wheel is back, and we return this weekend to do a bit of a summer rundown, I think is what we're going to call it. Of course, as always, I'm joined by Mr. 183. How are we doing, sir?
I'm doing well, yes. It feels like I've not spoken to Matt in ages, but I'll be the first person online to congratulate him on his new marriage. So well done, Matt.
Thank you.
Don't know how you convinced Leah, but there you go. Yeah, would have been nice to be there, but you know.
Did you have other stuff going on, did you, as well?
I did. I probably wouldn't have been able to go regardless, but there we go. I knew the viewers were desperate to find out if I was going to be there, so.
Yeah, people did comment on my Instagram going, "Where's Jamie?" And
I know.
Oh, yeah,
that was in the dress.
Well, yeah, exactly. I don't know why you decided to gate crash. It was also when they said, "Does anybody object?" Jamie stood up, but we told him categorically to sit back down,
to stay away.
Exactly. That was my big concern, actually. Why Jamie didn't actually make the day is because I thought
do that.
I was worried you would, though, sir, in like a deeply emotional level.
What reason would I have? I wouldn't come up with anything.
Because you want me all to yourself forever.
Great.
That's your reason.
It'll take away from our business arrangement.
Exactly. You know, I'm a married man now. I gotta run everything past the, I guess, wife 212 now rather than last 212.
Yeah, crazy.
So yeah, absolutely wild. But of course, the Formula 1 show must go on, despite the fact it's now the summer break and the Formula 1 show isn't actually going on. The last episode we did was pre-Hungary, wasn't it?
Yes.
Since then, we spoke about it kind of before we started. There's not really a lot to discuss from Hungary, was there? Of course, we say that. It was the first time all year Mercedes didn't get pole. It was still a Mercedes-powered car on pole, but Lando Norris then was able to control a big portion of the Hungarian Grand Prix. Oscar Piastri is arguably still one of the unluckiest drivers of 2026, so good news there.
Was he?
But
I'm not.
I mean,
because he was very slow as well before he had the DNF.
He wasn't quite as quick as Lando, but he did then also get taken out by Carlos Sainz, which would have given him a chance. And then,
I still think without the Sainz incident, Norris is going to overcut him, to be honest.
Probably, but he would have still been able to give him a good fight, and then, of course, walked away with absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that was a shame, because he's only had the one podium, I think, this year in Japan.
Japan, wasn't it? Yeah.
So, yeah, losing a podium due to DNF is not the best for him, but I don't think he had the pace to win the race after leading for the first stint. Norris drove very well. Obviously, not that long ago, we were talking about the fact that Mercedes might win every race this season, and now we've had 3 different teams win a race, and it doesn't seem out of the question that Verstappen could sneak a win somewhere. So, yeah, I think that's good for the season. Although
we've had 5 different. Yeah, we've had 5 different winners in the last 5 GP.
I know. Yeah, we need Max to win at Zandvoort or Piastri. And then we're laughing.
Yeah, F1's cooking again, apparently, but kind of. But we don't. We did our F1. We probably should have saved our rant last week for the summer break, shouldn't we? Because now would have felt like a better time to do it. But it's been a weird season so far. But I was watching something a couple of days ago from the race talking about the 2027 reg changes. I do honestly feel like at this point still, once teams kind of sort out all the software issues and our beloved AI, which of course I've done many a rant on the show more recently as well, I feel like with either a 57-43 or more obviously a 60-40 split, there's part of me that does still want to feel that there's potential with these cars. Like, you look back at the opening few Grand Prix, we did kind of accidentally solve an overtaking problem that's been an issue in Formula 1 since the 80s. And then, of course, teams figured out exactly where everybody else was using battery and kind of reversed that again somewhat. But I want to believe there is still, with a bit more fine-tuning and a bit more tweaking, some goodness to be had from this generation.
I think there probably is. No matter how much they change the power stuff, I'm not sure they're ever going to get qualifying back to what it was, because
60-40 you should get a lot closer.
There'll be some tracks where you're still, so Spa for instance, you're always going to have to be lifting off through, or super, what's it called, super clipping through P1 and stuff, aren't you?
Yeah, I think the bigger problem is with some of it is some of it needs to be fine-tuned circuit to circuit. I know they've done that a little bit with kind of the deploy on some tracks as well, wasn't it? But it's a shame that you can't have access to more battery on long laps. Because let's be fair, Spa is basically the worst case scenario. It's both a long track, and there's not really, in theory, that many places to recharge.
Yeah, Melbourne and Spa, I think, possibly.
Monza as well, probably another big one.
Monza at least has some bit, like many big braking zones, but yeah. I like to think there is some potential. Obviously, I think as time's gone on, it's become slightly better. The races where you haven't been so battery limited have actually been some of the better races.
Pretty
this year.
good. I mean, we spoke about it. I remember Miami genuinely delivered quite a good race this year. But as we've said before, this is kind of the broken thing with the 2026 regs, isn't it? That Formula 1 over the last 5 years has basically tried to break circuits to make them better for last generation of cars, and it's inadvertently completely screwed over this gen.
Yeah, they've smoothed out every circuit to get more straights and fewer corners, and now we need corners again, and we need high braking zones, and there's just none. Melbourne's the perfect example, but Spain, Abu Dhabi, there's lots of examples.
Spain
of
was
tracks.
all right.
Yeah, but then they've still taken out. It would be better for the battery with the turn 10 still being the same and the last chicane, wouldn't it? So
I'm not actually. You say that about Spain. I'm not so convinced because it's not easy flat anyway through those final couple of corners. I would genuinely, now you've said that, be intrigued to know the battery difference. Because obviously you then have to dump a lot more coming out of the chicane as well, wouldn't you? And through that final corner. I'm not convinced Spain would make much difference. Maybe with the old hairpin at starting Sector 3 would help a bit more.
As well. And didn't they... I guess the rest of them were just smoothing out of apexes, wasn't it? Rather than changing the profile of corners. But, yeah. I think there is potential. I just don't like that. Like, I know this is a dumb thing to say when you've been watching F1 for like 20 years, but the car makes too much difference at the moment, and that's always going to be the case with the start of a reg change. But you can just see it in qualifying. It's basically always a Noah's Ark, because how the car uses its battery basically defines the lap times.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, I prefer when a driver can drop 6/10 on his teammate and outperform where the car should be. And you got that when the time was made up in the Brave, taking corners fast or braking later or getting good exits. But right now, the time is all made up by how much battery you have on the straights.
Yeah, and clearly, obviously, more recently, a bit of luck as well with whether your software's working properly or not, which I'm sure has been an issue since the start of the season. It just hasn't been discussed as much. But yeah, like we said, it has been a bit of a shame in that regard. Like I said, I'm hoping these energy tweaks are going to try and bring the cars a bit more in the right direction over the next couple of years, but who knows? Who knows at the moment still, Jamie, and I'm sure we'll be here to discuss that as time goes on. Should we do a little bit of housekeeping first of all then, from obviously the Hungaroring?
Yes.
Just so we don't forget.
Basically, we did really badly in predictions, but the scores beforehand, you were 8 points ahead of me, so that was not great.
Yep.
I said Kimi Antonelli would get pole, which he didn't do. I said Antonelli would win, which gets me 1 point because he came on the podium.
That's one.
And then I said Leclerc and Hamilton, who arguably should have finished second and third since they were in first or second fastest car in Hungary. But neither of them actually did finish second or third. So
no. Hamilton definitely should have had a podium. I think Max was going to hold off Leclerc.
So yeah, I got 1 point.
1 point.
Out of possible 8. You said Lewis Hamilton would get pole, which
very
he was
close.
About 12 thousandths off doing.
Yeah, about that, wasn't it? Which was a shame.
And a grid penalty.
And a grid penalty, yeah. That block on Oscar Piastri was awful. I mean, how on earth no one at Ferrari told him Oscar was there? I don't know.
You said Hamilton would win, which again didn't get a podium. You said Russell would come second, which he didn't. He had a bad start because his battery wasn't working again. Classic. And Antonelli third, so you've scabbed 2 points.
Yes!
Which is terrible stuff, but that makes little difference to the scores. So it's 40 for you and 31 for me.
Wonderful. I like it. Yeah, Hungary, I guess in that regard, was a bit of a surprise, wasn't it? Like we said, first non-Mercedes pole of the year. And I mean, Antonelli did a very, very good job in terms of damage limitation in the end. Still outscored his big championship rivals. He's got a 50-point lead, Jamie, as we head into the summer break. We've seen quite a few swings so far this year. Obviously, we saw like through Silverstone and Barcelona. Of course, Antonelli he didn't score in either of those races, did he, in the end? It's not out of the realms of possibility this championship could really chop and change through the second half of the campaign. Is there any realistic perspective in your world where Kimi Antonelli does not win this world title?
No. Not for me. I think it's a bit like what happened in 2024 with Verstappen having that lead. And then as the Red Bull became less and less competitive, everyone else was becoming competitive at the same time. So,
well, Ferrari, McLaren and Mercedes just kept taking points off each other, didn't they? Was the problem.
Like, obviously Hamilton's only 50 points behind. Russell's 59 points behind. I just don't think Hamilton or Russell will be able to get enough momentum on their own. See, Hamilton's won one race so far. Russell's won 2 races so far.
It is mad that Russell's still only won 2 this year.
I just think if anyone is going to find form to win many races running, which is basically what they need to do, a bit like what Max did towards the back end of last season, if they want to mount a comeback, my money would be on Lando Norris, to be honest, in the McLaren.
Really?
And I think he's too far back. So, yeah.
I think the McLaren was just very, very good around a high downfall circuit, and a circuit that historically has suited McLaren very well for their ability to look after tyres.
It's true, but he's been on a bit of a run, apart from reliability, anyway, recently. So
has he?
I think he has. Maybe I'm making that up.
I mean, I'm literally in a Lando Norris t-shirt this morning, and I'm still looking at you like you're wild.
No, he came 7th in Belgium, 4th in Britain, 7th in Austria.
I was going to say, maybe not. I think it was just a bit of a McLaren track in the end.
But regardless, I do think in that case, no one's going to go on a run where they can topple Antonelli, because Antonelli's been delivering. Even when the car isn't good, he still finishes like 2nd, 3rd, 4th, doesn't he?
Well, Hungary was a great example of this, wasn't it? Car's not up to scratch, still outscores both his championship rivals. Shouldn't have outscored Lewis, but Ferrari be Ferrariing.
Yeah, and I think Hamilton didn't deliver his best race of the season in Hungary himself on a personal level as well.
No.
Ferrari didn't make him speed in the pit lane for that, for instance.
No, exactly. And to be fair, we spoke about Charles Leclerc a lot this year. The last 3 Grand Prix, he has done better than Hamilton again. For the most part.
He's just very far off because he had such a stinker in the first 5 or 6 races, didn't he?
Yeah, but he kind of went into a lull.
So yeah, I think nobody is really gathering form, and you can see that by 5 different wins in 5 races. That like, it's not going to be a case where somebody can string together 9 podiums in a row like Verstappen did last year. You know, you've had every race has been a different podium this year.
Yeah, that's quite wild, isn't it? Yeah.
And I feel like at some point we'll have a repeat podium just because of law of averages. But
well, there's only so many drivers who can get a podium, isn't there, really?
Well, exactly. There's still quite a few combinations that we haven't had yet. But I do find that a bit mad. And obviously we're only 2 races away from equaling the, how do you call that, like the most different winners in a row streak in F1 history?
Yeah. I can't see that getting broken.
What, in the next 2 races, you think?
Yeah, I can't see. It will be either. I mean, it could be another Norris win. Zandvoort. Again, it's another high downfall circuit, isn't it?
Piastri won there last year.
It could play back into McLaren's hand a bit more. Yeah, Piastri did win there last year. It's a very good point. Obviously, you can never quite count Verstappen out, but I don't know whether. Maybe Zandvoort will suit the Red Bull as well. It is a sprint weekend, though, and that has often steered towards certain teams more than others this year.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Got to factor in.
Sorry, you caught me drinking a coffee. Who won in... I guess Hamilton won 5 races ago, didn't he? So if Hamilton wins in Zandvoort, technically the streak is still 5.
Yeah,
because he just discounts Barcelona.
So. Yeah, it's a very good point. Monza could be a bit... Monza will probably just be Mercedes, though, surely.
You'd imagine so, wouldn't you? Antonelli win at Monza would be crazy.
It would go absolutely wild. It would be wild.
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess
I reckon they care more about Ferrari than they do about Antonelli. I'm not sure.
I think if Ferrari were nowhere, then you'd see a lot of Kiwi sport in the stands.
Yeah.
But I don't, it's a bit like when, what was it, Jarno Trulli was at Renault, wasn't it, against Schumacher and Barrichello at Ferrari, and no one cared that he was there.
But Jarno Trulli isn't, the protege.
Oh, sorry, not
Italian
Trulli,
world
Fisichella
champions.
even.
Oh, Fizzy, yeah. And Fizzy was never that close to winning in Monza, I don't think. So.
No.
And he was Team Alonso, wasn't he? So.
He certainly was. He certainly was, which goes against the a Ferrari rule. I don't know. I want to, because there's talks now, isn't there, that Imola might host the season finale, which apparently
I haven't
F1
heard a worse idea in F1 history, I don't think.
There's not been many that are worse than that, because Imola at that time of the year will be like 10 degrees. Portimao would make a fair amount of sense, but apparently they want to update the circuit, but they're still hosting MotoGP at the end of the year as well. I understand that they want to try, because when was the last time an Italian won an F1 title was 52?
51, wasn't it?
Was it 51
No,
or was it
Fangio
52?
was 51, it was 52.
Yeah, it was 52. Or 52 or 53, I can't quite remember off the top of my head. We've waited a while, Jamie. We have waited a while, and I understand that they might want to try.
I hadn't even thought of that, actually. That might be quite clever, then.
Yeah, exactly. This was kind of the big reason why they're considering it. But it would be quite funny if Antonelli already wrapped up the title and then suffered like a mechanical failure or something. Mercedes just did Mercedes reliability things.
I mean, regardless, if he'd wrapped the title up in the penultimate race, for instance, I still think a big party at Imola would be quite fun. So, I'm sold on that idea. Give it to Imola.
Fair enough. Or even better than that, it's Antonelli versus Hamilton at Ferrari for the season finale at Imola.
Dream on, I think.
That would be wild.
The problem is
again, though, all it takes is Antonelli to DNF at Zandvoort, gets involved in like a lap 1 incident or something like that, Hamilton to win, and then Kimi doesn't outscore him between now and the final race of the season overall.
Yeah,
and
how many times has Hamilton outscored Antonelli this year? Like
a few more recently.
3 times. And you're now saying he's got to go on a 9 race in a row streak of beating Antonelli every race.
Ferrari, you look at the stuff from the start of the year though to now. Ferrari have looked a lot more competitive against Mercedes. There is no denying that Mercedes gap has dwindled.
Lewis Hamilton has beaten Antonelli in a race 2 times, and both of them were Barcelona, where Antonelli DNF'd.
But Lewis was going to beat him anyway. Issues. Yeah, fair enough.
So it's once. Yes.
That is a shame.
So, and you're saying now, given that we're 10 races into the season?
Yeah.
No, 11.
Yeah.
11 races into the season. And there's, how many races left? 12 races.
About 11. Yeah, we don't really know anymore, do we?
So it's 10-1, or I guess 9-1, because you discount the DNF one.
Yeah, but Lewis was going to beat him anyway. We can say 9-2 pretty happily.
In Silverstone he wasn't. Anthony was second.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were on about Barcelona.
Yeah. And you're now thinking, well, he's got to beat him 10 times in a row. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, but Lewis is the clutch-up king.
Is he?
Yeah.
Tell that to his P8 in the championship last year.
He didn't need to clutch up then. Who cared about last year? Shocking.
Yeah, Antonelli has been on the podium every race apart from those 2 where he's had issues.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I didn't even know he was doing that well.
Yeah, Antonelli's just goated, man. Honestly. I've said that you slagged off Antonelli so much over the last couple of years, and you're finally
not
starting.
this year.
Yeah, even to the start of the year, you were like, "Oh no, George will get back ahead of him pretty quickly." Don't worry.
What did you predict? Remind me in pre-season predictions. You predicted,
but nobody
George Russell
didn't predict George. I also predicted Max to finish like P6, and you told me I was mad.
Yeah, well, he's 6th at the moment, but he might finish 4th or 5th.
He could also finish 7th.
I don't think he'll finish 7th, to be honest.
Let's have a look.
There we go.
No wheel.
Also, one more thing from Hungary. Nico Hülkenberg finally got points.
Yeah, he
Amazing.
did. He did. And I literally did a video talking about it a couple of days, or I mentioned it in a video like 2 days beforehand. Or I think I recorded it before, and then the video went live on the Monday after he'd scored points.
Yeah, there we go. And everyone, I've seen people's pre-season rankings and stuff, and everyone's putting him like 15th. And Bortoletto's like 8th or something, when literally in quality head-to-head it's like 9-3 to Hülkenberg. So,
well, we both predicted Hülkenberg 12th this year.
He's currently 18th, but 12th is only 17 points away. Just get a podium, are you there?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm just having a look at our bold predictions from the start of the year, Jamie. Obviously,
I said Madrid won't happen.
You said Madrid won't happen. You said Hulkenberg will get another podium, and you said 2 world champions will depart.
Ooh. I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think that's going to happen either. I said Behrman podium. Maybe at the start of the year, that seemed believable.
That could have happened earlier on, yeah.
Yeah, but definitely not now. Russell wraps up the title before Vegas. That's going to take quite some doing now. But I did say one Aston Martin sees the checkered flag in Australia, and that was true.
I mean, no, Stroll was not classified.
I worded that specifically.
Yeah, but I could have seen the checkered flag in Australia if I was walking. I just would have done it a week later.
No, but it wouldn't be there anymore.
Great. Well, we can ramble about the pre-season predictions at the end of the year. But, yeah. All that to say, Kimi Antonelli will probably win the championship.
Yeah, exactly. What's some other big news, though, Jamie?
On Imola.
Yeah.
The other one that's a bit random is that Malaysia's back for the first time in 10 years. I am confused because last time I checked, Bahrain is in the Middle East.
It is.
And Malaysia is in East Asia.
It is.
So why on earth is it called the Bahrain Grand Prix?
Cash money is why.
That is literally the only reason, isn't it?
Yes.
It's
like no one's tried to hide this fact, Jamie. It's well known this is the reason.
But has there ever been a Grand Prix with a location in the name that is further from the location in the Grand Prix's name?
No.
Surely
probably not. I can't imagine so.
Because I guess San Marino, Imola isn't in San Marino technically. Well, not technically, it's just not in San Marino. But it's only about, 50 kilometres away or something.
Azerbaijan hosted the European Grand Prix once.
Baku, it's not in Europe, is it?
Well, Azerbaijan?
Yeah.
I don't believe so.
It's not far away from Europe. You're probably talking a couple of 100 kilometres, not like 5,000.
No, this is to an all-new extremity, but...
Yeah. I just think if... what I'm imagining, Crofty on lap 56 in Malaysia, when Kimi Antonelli is coming to win the race, he better not say, and Kimi Antonelli wins the Bahrain Grand Prix in Malaysia. It's so stupid, isn't it?
I would put money on that's exactly what he will say.
Yeah.
Oh, he might say the Bahrain Grand Prix at Sepang.
But it's just stupid, isn't it? What will really annoy me is in a year's time, when you're quizzing me on Bahrain Grand Prix winners,
yep,
I'll have to start with the winner of the Malaysian Grand Prix.
Yep.
It's mental.
Yep.
Like, just... F1, yeah, they just run by money, and that we know that, but it's insane.
I mean, this is the awkward thing. I don't actually mind this idea, to be completely honest with you. I think Sepang will probably be a bit energy starved anyway. I guess in my hopeful world, this basically potentially kickstarts, a look towards bringing Malaysia back to Formula 1, which would be quite cool, a bit more long term, or like on an alternating deal. I also think this could be fascinating to potentially open up the idea of, in the future, that Middle Eastern countries, if there's still going to be so much unrest there, might now finally actually be able to fund some decent Grand Prix. Bahrain has always been pretty good, but I want the Qatar Grand Prix at Istanbul and things like that now. I want these races.
But it's not the Qatar Grand Prix, then, is it?
Well, if they're paying for it, it is. It's whatever they want it to be.
Great. So... I guess like oil states that don't have particularly good races.
I want the Venezuelan Grand Prix at Donington Park.
Great. Like what I'm on the grid before the race in Sepang this year, they're going to play the Bahrain national anthem.
Yes, they are.
And nobody there is going to know it. Like, it's just crazy to me. Can you get the Dutch Grand Prix at Zolder? And then, you can play all the Dutch national anthem and stuff in Belgium and just see how that goes down. I don't know. It doesn't sit right with me. But I agree with you. If Qatar wants to purchase a good circuit...
What does it sit right about it, though? This is what I don't get. What's your big issue with this? We're getting a good track back in.
I know. I'm happy it's there. But keep on calling it the Bahrain Grand Prix it's just crazy.
But that's exactly who's paying
It just doesn't
for
make
it.
sense. It just doesn't make any sense. Just call it, like, even if they came up with a generic Bahrain sounding name, like the Gulf Air Grand Prix or something. Who sponsors Bahrain? I think it's Gulf Air.
Gulf Air have previously.
Like, if they called it the Gulf Air Grand Prix in Malaysia or something, and like you can plaster it in the sponsors and all that. It's like when the 70th anniversary was at Silverstone. Like, it wasn't called, the Austrian Grand Prix at Silverstone, despite that being the circuit that it should have replaced or whatever.
Hey?
Yeah. It wasn't. But whatever, in 2020, whatever track
yeah.
should have been that round that they replaced with Silverstone.
It was going to be... They only did that because it was going to be at Silverstone.
But they weren't ever going to do 2 races at Silverstone in the proper calendar, were they?
No, but that was the whole point. They did that second British Grand Prix as the 70th anniversary because it only made sense to do it at Silverstone. Either Silverstone or like Spa. Or Monza, for example, or Monaco. But no, that was only ever thrown in because it was going to be... obviously 70 years since the British Grand Prix and they needed just another name for it.
We should make a bid to sponsor the Knowing Wheel Grand Prix.
The Knowing Wheel Grand Prix at Istanbul Park would go hard, I reckon.
What Grand Prix do we reckon we...
the Knowing Wheel Grand Prix of Arbus would be incredible. Are we going to make that happen? But actually, Jamie, I wanted to quickly touch upon the idea. You remember in the last show we talked about me being the president of the FIA?
Yes.
People weren't happy about that.
Right. Why not?
Apparently I'd bottle the calendar, ban Ocon and Stroll, give Lewis the 2021 championship and make Monaco a bicycle race, and make his local F1 track host 5 races of the year. Castle Combe, the Knowing Wheel Castle Combe Grand Prix would be incredible. I feel like the pit facilities would need a bit of an update, because I'm not joking, Jamie. If you go on Castle Combe's website, their hospitality suite is basically just a couple of deck chairs next to a bar, and I'm not making that up.
Maybe the Bahrain Grand Prix could be at Castle Combe next year.
Yes! I like this idea.
We're going on a rant today, but I like Malaysia. I'm glad it's back. Did you know, fun fact about Malaysia, something like the last 10 Malaysian Grand Prix had different winners?
Seem about right.
It was something like that. I remember in 2017 everyone was going on about it, and then
maybe that's your quiz today. You got a name. Hey, actually, let's do this between us. How far?
So Max won in 17.
Max,
Ricciardo won 16.
Yeah.
Vettel won his first race for Ferrari in 2015.
In 15. Yeah.
Hamilton won in 2014.
Yeah. Vettel won 13, so that's the immediately
multi-21.
bust. Yeah. So you had 10 different winners in the last 10 Grand Prix bust.
That must have been Spain. That had 10 different winners in 10 years at one point.
So you now want the Spanish Grand Prix at Malaysia, do you?
Yeah, why not? I mean, better than Madrid. Do the Madrid Grand Prix in Paris or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
If the Grand Prix has a location name in its name, it should be in the location or near it. I don't like it.
Yeah, but where do you draw the line?
Well, I'm not a big fan of San Marino Grand Prix in Imola, to be honest.
Yeah, but that was always quite cool. I think people liked that, didn't they? Because we had.
Well, as a kid, I thought it was in San Marino, and I felt lied to.
Really? Your lack of geography was that bad?
I was 5 or 6 at the time.
Crazy. What else we got to talk about, Jamie? Jonathan Wheatley apparently is still meant to be going to Aston Martin. That felt like it was news at the start of the year. Basically, as soon as he joined Audi, it was then apparently he was going to Aston Martin, but now apparently can't happen until next year at the earliest.
Yeah, it's all a bit weird, isn't it? But Aston did take a big step up in Hungary, and they've got another big step up coming in Baku.
In theory. No, in Zandvoort. In theory.
That's the next race, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's what I was going to say, Jamie. Did you... I feel like nobody knew this until literally yesterday. You know, Baku this year is a Saturday race.
I did. I saw that.
Literally, like yesterday, the FIA just casually announced it.
It was on my calendar, because I got F1 synced on my Google Calendar. It was on the Saturday there.
Yeah. But they've recently tweaked it.
No, it's not because of Ramadan,
No, because Sunday's a national holiday in Baku. So they've just randomly brought it a day forward.
Interesting. Well,
I don't mind
that,
the occasional Saturday race.
No, neither.
Qualifying on a Friday afternoon, though, is going to be weird. Then again, I guess we get that with the sprints anyway, don't we?
We do. But yeah, Carlos Sainz apparently sniffing around that Aston Martin seat because he hates James Vowles at this point. So we'll see if
well,
he
apparently
fancies.
there was rumours we could see a big swap around between Alonso, Sainz and Colapinto, all basically playing musical chairs.
Yeah, I'm amazed Alonso wants another fresh start at a new team.
Well, it's not a fresh start at a new team, it's a fresh start back at Alpine again.
It's fourth time signing with Renault/Alpine. Yeah, I think Carlos Sainz. Well, I'd put it like 75% that he won't be racing for Williams next year.
But where can he go?
Where. Well, I think Aston
Sensibly.
Martin is. They've got a lot more trajectory, haven't they?
But what goes on? Who leaves Aston Martin? Because Alonso now doesn't want to go yet, does he?
I guess he might not, especially if they take another step forward. Yeah, I don't know. Stroll's there forever.
This is what I don't get. Because, like, there's people calling for James Vowles' head down at Williams. And I kind of get going, I still feel like that's jumping the gun. Like, I get this year has been a disaster for Williams. It really has just obviously not lived up to the hype that they were hoping for. But I still feel like it's premature. I still feel like Sainz and Albon need to give it... Because, again, it's the whole thing of, obviously, if they can just develop that car a bit more... They clearly have obviously still got the best engine in the field with that Mercedes power. I can't see Williams being this bad next year.
But also, what's the end game for Williams? I don't think they're ever going to be in the front pack.
I think
while
the harsh
Mercedes
reality,
and McLaren are there.
I think the harsh reality now for Williams is it's most likely they get sold off to a big manufacturer at some point.
If they want to win championships, that's the only way, isn't it?
Without actually Williams being there, whether it be Frank or Claire anymore, I can't. And it pains me to say it because obviously Williams have been on the grid for so long. But I mean, there were talks, weren't there, recently that BYD were apparently sniffing around, potentially looking at him. I can't see at some point now, because Fabio Briatore did an interesting interview about this. He was talking about when he sold Benetton to Renault. Back, what was that? Pretty much 2000, wasn't it? I know it took a couple of years for the names transfer over. He sold it for 80 million. Apparently now Alpine is like 30% of Renault's value. As a global conglomerate, as a manufacturer, 30% of Renault's value now comes from owning that Formula 1 team.
Don't make road cars.
Alpine do, actually, and the new A290 is very successful. But no, I'm not talking about Alpine here, though. I'm talking about Renault as a brand.
Yeah.
The Alpine F1 team is like 30% of their value now.
Yeah.
As a company.
Which is crazy.
At some point soon, you look at how much it's moved in the last 25 years, from 80 million to like $3.5 billion. If Fabio Briatore was saying, it's not out of the realms of possibility that F1 teams can be worth $10 billion in 15, 20 years from now, which seems insane. But
especially if oil states keep sponsoring Grand Prix in the middle of nowhere.
Exactly. So. But if you'd said to Flavio Briatore 25 years ago, oh, don't sell Benetton, it'll be worth what? 40 times what it's currently worth 25 years from now. You would have thought you're mad. On that. Yeah, but not a 4,000% increase.
No. So 80 million in 2000.
Yeah. It's probably worth, I would have thought, 250 million now.
156 million. So yeah, about double like inflation since then. So the fact that it's up to like so high is crazy. But if you sold a team 10 years ago, it would have been nowhere near that much.
Well, you think Gene Haas again is another one that will have absolutely, even though he probably doesn't really have deserved to, will have made an absolute stack of cash from getting Haas in as just before Formula 1 blew up. Yeah.
It's a shame for Manor, really, isn't it? Because if they could have just survived another year or two, they'd have been laughing. But there you go.
Potentially, yeah, it would have been very, very interesting as well. But yeah, one of those weird things, isn't it? But I don't know. Like I said with Williams, it would be a shame to see the Williams name off the grid. But I think at some point, difficult questions will have to be. And there's Doralton at the end of the day are an investment firm. If they feel like they've got their investment out of it, what they wanted, and can't see a way in which they get this team right to the front, because sensibly, I mean, it's even just the little things like Grove is a little bit out of Motorsport Valley. It's a little bit too far out of the way for, people that might swap around between McLaren or an Aston Martin and things like that.
I don't know that part of the world at all, so that's your area.
Well, you thought Bahrain was near Malaysia.
Well, I didn't. I in fact know that it's not, and that's the problem.
Oh man. I'm sure. There's lots.
Viewers,
to
let us
discuss.
know what you think. Is it stupid that Bahrain Grand Prix is in Malaysia, and is it worth us putting a bid in to host a race on the moon?
I reckon the Knowing Wheel Moon Grand Prix would go wild.
Moon Grand Prix.
2050 is going to be an incredible F1 season.
You know how in Mexico they have like the weird downforce stuff because there's so little air up there. Can you imagine that on the moon?
It would be impossible, I feel. There was a challenge, I think it was on Gran Turismo 6, where you could drive on the moon. You had to like take the lunar rover like through like
cool.
checkpoints and stuff. I never owned Gran Turismo 6, so I've never done it personally. But I've always wanted to do it. So I'm sure Assetto Course has got a mod for it as well. You can drive on the moon. It'd be incredible. Absolutely incredible. Even by our standards, Jamie, and I know we say this quite a lot, this has been a rambly episode. Have we got anything else
really
to
has.
add?
No.
No? All good? All happy?
Yeah,
Wonderful.
very happy.
Wonderful. When are we going to be back next, Jamie? I literally go on holiday tomorrow, and then I
I'm
get
not
back
going anywhere.
and then I'm going to Silverstone literally the day after I get home.
So it's actually Matt is the problem here because I'm
For
actually free as
once,
a bird.
I am the problem.
So yeah.
We're
Matt will let me know when we're gonna
we're
record
actually
next.
not that far away from Zandvoort now, are we?
No, I know.
In the next episode might be a Zandvoort preview show, like around, well, I guess race week, of course.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Sweet. Well, we'll see
Wonderful.
you
Thank you all, as always, so much for listening. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure and leave a like, drop a follow, drop a sub, all that good stuff. And Jamie and I will return, hopefully, quite soon with more Knowing Wheel.